this and that. We are sitting in my front room of the house, looking at the plant table that I recently made, and I am deciding how I'm going to create an apparatus that will attach my grow lights and be able to adjust it up and down. So my idea is to have some sort of clamp right here with these wooden dowels I can attach it to and slide up and down. So we'll head out to the garage and see what we can come up with. Alright, so here we are in the garage, and what I've decided is I'm going to use this old 4x4. It's been laying around for a long time, may as well use it for this. So my idea is to drill a couple holes, say here and here, for this dowel to ride vertically and to be adjustable up and down. And then on the edge I can cut out a channel for it to slide over the tabletop. And then when I cut it in half, I can drill, put a little bit of epoxy. I can drill through that, tap that, and I can put a little set screw just so it can side load the dowel so it doesn't, fall unintended. So let's get started. I want about a ½ an inch from where the dowel is going to be to the end of the block. That way there's sufficient material there. So I'm going to cut out that slot here about 1 inch deep. So I'll mark off 1 inch. And then I want about a ½ an inch between that and the center of that dowel would be 5/8 of an inch. That's where the center of that dowel is going to go. So we'll mark the same on this side. So right there will be the end of my block. So we'll bring it over to the drill press and drill those out with the Forstner bit. Clean straight through. So let's do the other one. That's as far as I can go with that bit. Sadly, it's not quite long enough. Use this to center drill the hole, and then continue from the other side with that. So let's try a dry fit. I think that's going to work out pretty good. I might have to give the dowel a light sanding. Oh, not on this one. Right through with no problems. Maybe I'll give, looks like there's a little lip in there. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, there you go. You can see that little lip right here. I'm going to get a rasp and see if we can take that out. From here to about here. Easy peasy. Excellent. So now we'll find the center here where we have to cut out our channel on both ends. There we go, that's what we got to cut out of there. All of that. And then the same on this end. Make sure that's oriented properly. And we're going to go about 1 inch deep. Something like that. Didn't turn out exactly how I wanted it, but fortunately you won't be able to see it by the time I'm done with it. So now what we're going to do is cut it off. There we go, I'll break that off, sand it down, and you won't even know it. Alright, so I'm going to try to flatten that out with a file a little bit, and then I'll sand it with the sander. That's pretty good, much better. Oh yeah, much better. Much smoother. You can see there the bottom is very nice. So now we're going to sand it down a little bit, make it look a little prettier. Then we'll go ahead and get it ready for a little bit of epoxy. so I can drill and tap those set screws. Well, there we have it. All sanded down. It's going to look good on the edge of that table. So now I have to drill a little hole here, fill it with epoxy, let it dry, drill and tap it, and I might do the exact same thing down here, just so it doesn't slide off the table. Now we can go to the drill press Forstner bit. So I'm going to use a 1/2 inch Forstner bit. That should leave me with a nice clean hole to fill with epoxy, which I'll have to go and get. Luckily for you guys, you won't have to wait. Here we go. Left me with a really nice clean hole, with the exception of inside of there, but I'll get rid of that. Use a little bit of sandpaper in there and we'll get that cleaned up. So we're going to put some epoxy in these holes. But first we got to put some tape on the inside. Make sure that they don't leak out all the epoxy. Here we go, all blocked off. And I didn't drill these holes all the way through. So there'll be most epoxy, and when I tap that, it'll go through all the way, of course. There you go, hole number 2. Looks pretty good. Mix up some epoxy, down a little bit.
need more of that.
Alright, that's full. I'm going to mix up some more, but I got to put a piece of tape over that. There we are. We'll come back in 15 minutes or so, check on it. So here we are. It's actually a couple days later, not just 15 minutes or so. The epoxy should be really nice and hard. So what I'm going to do now is find the center, drill through, find the center, drill through, then I can tap it and hopefully it's going to hold up to my very minor use. Then I'll sand it down a little bit, get rid of all that epoxy, and as they say, Bob's your uncle. So we'll head over to the drill press and drill that out. So what I have to do is find the proper drill size for that 1/4 inch tap, and then I can drill those holes. That way we don't drill them too big, and it gives us plenty of meat for the threads. So here I found not my original drill chart, but in the kit that I have, it shows here that for a 1/4 20 we're looking for a 13/64 drill bit. So I'll go and find one of those. So here I have my drill index, and 13/64 is right here. Nice clean. Oh, I forgot to take the tape out of there. There we go. Alright, let's do the next one. Not bad. This side I didn't put enough epoxy in there, but no one's gonna know.
Who's gonna know?
When I was in high school, in machine shop, 1/4 20 was one of my go-tos for assembling. Just apply light pressure and rotate. And I'll finish the rest by hand. We're almost there. So close. But that's okay. It's only wood from there on out. But there's another trick we can do. So we'll do the same thing on this side right here. There you go. Look at those beautiful threads in there. And you guys can't see, but there's just the beginning of a thread there. As you can see, this guy here, let's focus, this guy here is a little tapered. There you go. So you can see that the first, I don't know, 5 threads, they taper from nothing to a full developed thread. So you got this one tapped, I suppose next step is to try it. Alright, here we are at the other workbench. And just above, I have some linseed oil. I have no idea how it'll turn out. Geez, that thing is super glued on there. There you go. We'll get some gloves. I don't know if linseed oil goes bad with time. Looks fine. I made a bed some years ago, and this is all I used was some linseed oil for the finish, and it turned out really, really nice. It was a king-size bed. At the time I was a bachelor. I had no bed frame or anything like that, and I decided one day after getting off of a night shift that I was going to build myself a bed. So I stayed awake. My night shifts are 12 hours long. I usually return in the early morning, about 10 o'clock. So I'm awake all night working. I came home. I went to the store and I started buying all the materials for the bed. And I worked at that bed until what would have been the next day. So about 10 o'clock the next morning. I cut all the pieces. I burnt them all, or charred them, and then I I wire brushed off by hand all the char. I was filthy the next day. But I ended up with a very nice bed. And if you guys are interested, I could show you. Just let me know in the comments. Or you can hit the like button. Or subscribe. It does help the channel. It's free to do. And I sure do appreciate it. Well, there we go. There's a quick before and after. It's going to look really nice. So here we are in the house. We're just going to put one of the clamps on this end. Gotta move some of this jungle out of the way. I'm still not sure what my idea is going to be for up top. The apparatus I'm going to make to hang the lights. I have something in mind, I just don't know how well it's going to pan out. But that'll be a video for next time. Thanks for watching.